What's up, everyone? Steven from Evolution Tuning here. I tried to make a little bit more professional video for you guys, and camera's overheating, and the screen recording can only record one app at a time. So we're just going to do this quick and dirty way because I want to get to the point, so that way there's no fluff in the video. You don't need fluff, right? If you need fluff and you want me to do a more professional video, let me know. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the HP Tuners device and getting it connected to the laptop. All right. So first, what we're going to do is we'll talk a little bit about the differences in the devices. So the original device, the OG, the MPVI, was the gray with the long cable. The OG, main reason why people would upgrade, because it's still a relevant tool today. Like, you can still use it no problem today. But the reason why someone would prefer to upgrade would be, for one, application key. It's 35 characters that you got to type in every single time, depending on what laptop you're using, or whenever you purchase credits. So anytime you purchase credits, you get a new application key, sends it to your email. You got to type in this 35 character thing. It wasn't a problem until they came out with a new solution, which was the MPVI 2, where the resync function came into play. Now, the application key is a pain in the balls, right? So the other reason would be if you are trying to log more parameters. The more parameters you try to log, the more, the tool has to be proficient in deciphering the data. And as you go up in generations, the processing gets better and there's more storage, so it allows you to log more parameters more efficiently. So MPVI 2 came next. Again, we can resync now, which is what I'll show you here in a minute. It also allowed us to use Android-based devices and download the RTD app, and we can actually load tunes with our phones, and also start logs with our phones. Cool feature, but we couldn't do it with iOS. MPVI 2 Plus, we could. So the newer generation of MPVI was the 2 Plus. Again, it got a little bit larger. That's what I have. Larger in size, so there's more storage, better processing, and it allowed the tool to be used with the iOS and the Android market for the RTD app. Fast forward to, I want to say it was around August 2022. The chip shortage was coming in hot, and they had to release the MPVI 3. All right, so MPVI 3 I do not have, but I have an RTD 3, which is my private label one. And quick thing, the only difference between an RTD 3 and an MPVI 3 is that the RTD just doesn't allow the end user to modify the tune file. They can load, they can log, they can do everything that an MPVI can do, short of going in and making a modification. That being said, MPVI 3 and RTD 3, larger again. Another benefit was price point. Price point was $399.99, including the Pro feature set, which allows you to log analog inputs. For instance, like a wideband or fuel pressure gauge, whatever you want to log. You have the ability to do it for the $399 price versus the 2 and the 2 Plus. It costs like an extra $250 or $300. So that being said, whatever device you have, I do not have an MPVI 1, so I will not show you how to do the application key. I do have an MPVI 2 Plus and an RTD and an RTD 3. The process will be the same for all of them. So you're going to want to come to your laptop here, and you're going to go to the internet, hptuners.com, and we're going to go to downloads. Okay, so from the download screen, 99.9% of vehicles being tuned these days stable version is going to be perfectly fine. For the select few people that have a very, very new vehicle that's been released to be tuned, for instance, like the C8, or anything that they're coming down the pipeline with, more than likely you'll need to be on beta. And if you are one of those individuals that requires beta, I will let you know. But for all intents and purposes, right now, we'll do what the majority of the people will need, and that is download the stable version. Okay? Done this a couple times, but you'll download it, and when it downloads, you will do the setup wizard. Okay? You will go through this whole setup wizard and make sure that it is downloaded. Now, I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to go through that. Okay? Once you're done there, it will not automatically put these down here. So let's just get rid of these real quick. And you'll have no shortcuts, and you will have nothing down here in the taskbar that says anything to do with HP tuners once it's downloaded, which is great. So you're going to go to your Windows here, and you're going to type in VCM. That's the trick there, okay? The trick is typing VCM, not HP. All right, so once you type in VCM, you'll get the VCM editor. You'll pin that to the taskbar. Pin the VCM scanner to the taskbar. Now you have two of them readily available down here. All right, we'll open up the editor. This is the screen you'll get. Up at the top here, you'll notice that there is no handle here. It just says VCM editor. That just means nothing's open. And another way is that you'll have this green upward arrow over the EEPROM to read vehicle. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to hook up a device. Okay. Now that we have the device hooked up, we are going to go to the help, and we're going to go to resync interface. Now, before we do this, you need to make sure that you have an internet connection. I do. So we're going to hit resync interface, and it's going to go through this little process here. Sometimes if you have a device that was, sent out to you or sent out to the reseller, earlier this year, there may be an update. It'll go through a firmware update, but it should come to this resync interface completed. Okay. Once you do that, you hit close. Now this is connected to your laptop, and you should be able to gather info. Sometimes this may pop up again. There's another firmware update on this one. I have not hooked this one up to the laptop in a really long time, but you would hit gather info. It would populate the modules that it could read on the network here. Of course, I am not connected to a vehicle, so it will not pop up anyways. But once that gather info is done, then you can hit read, and it will read the files, engine, transmission, whatever you allow it to read. And then by that time, once it's done, you'll hit file, save as. Let's just let this finish. So you'll hit file, save as. You'll save it as whatever you prefer, like OEM backup or as found or whatever you want to do. Save it as something that makes sense to you, and then you'll email it to me. So once you email that to me, I will make the changes necessary for whatever you're working with or whatever we're working on, whether you have injectors, cam, whatever. I'll send you a startup file, and then we go back and forth, right? Via email. You send me a log. I tell you what type of log I'm looking for. You go do that. You send me the log. I look to see if any changes need to be done, and we just knock out the tune progressively. So I always like to start out with startup and idle first. I don't want you doing anything past that until I review that log. Once I view that log, I'll instruct you on what I need next, if I need just an easy drive or if I just need another log of the same. Give us a like, and then if you want to see anything in particular, comment it down below, and we will see what we can't get figured out. All right, thanks.